On the Monterey Peninsula, there's a place that has been whispered about for nearly a century, Cypress Point. You don't find it on tea sheets or websites. You find it only through invitation. People call it golf's Sistine Chapel. Today, we'll try to understand why. Sam Reeves and his wife Betsy live above the course. From their home, you can see the 13th green. Sam has watched this place change and stay the same.
Life changes rapidly. This afternoon, this will be sunny. So you're going to see in 6 hours how this whole environment changes. So these are the views that cypress trees give you.
Most people don't think about trees the way you do.
Yeah.
Why are trees so important to you?
Well, I think particular trees are important in Cypress Point. The club itself is named Cypress Point, so it has by definition, a very important role in it. They weave each other and they talk to each other. The roots interconnect and they nourish each other. The young nourishes the old. So there's a continuity. More important than continuity, there's a community.
Reeves talks about the trees as if they are people. That's not an accident. Cypress Point was never just about golf. It's about community, rooted in this land.
The golf course that MacKenzie saw evolves around the dune behind 11.
Visionaries built this place. Sam Morse, the developer with an eye for art, Marion Hollins, the pioneering sportswoman, and Alister MacKenzie, the architect who saw a dune and imagined a golf course.
Sam Morse's father was a prominent lawyer in Boston. Mother was a painter, but he came and lived here, and then because of probably the artistic gene he got from his mom, he could probably see all this, and he started laying all this out. He would see what we've just seen here. He saw the cypress tree. He had a Western amateur here, and so he saw that golf and money were connected. So in 1925, his great friend Marion Hollins, who came from a very wealthy family back in New York, he gave her 150 acres and here, which is where we're on now, part of Cypress Point, and she was to go out and get membership, which she did, and then in 1926 it started.
What is that name? Who is Marion Hollins?
Oh man, she's iconic around here. I mean, her tombstone's right there, you know. It's
Tombstone?
I
saw the name there.
Yes, that's why it's called the Hollins Terrace. So she's kind of everywhere. But my first, I think it was like probably my second week here, we had the Marion Hollins 100th anniversary of her acquiring the land here, and I mean, it was amazing. She is, I mean, it would be so cool to meet her, or, you know, just see old videos of her and stuff like that. I mean,
one of the things Sam Morse did was he wanted to have the first USGA tournament west of the Mississippi. The U.S. Amateur played at Pebble Beach. Bobby Jones was the biggest draw athlete, Babe Ruth, Bobby, in the United States, and the New York papers carried wherever Bobby Jones went. So he wanted to have the amateur here because he knew he'd get Bobby Jones, he'd get publicity, and he would have more people come out here. Bobby Jones came here to Cypress Point. He saw this and hired Alister MacKenzie on the spot to do what his vision was for Augusta.
Cypress Point was crafted, not manufactured, hand-shaped, like the sculptures Reeves compares it to.
Sandy Tatum, who was a member here and the president of USGA, coined the phrase, this was the Sistine Chapel of golf. Michelangelo saw marble that had been rejected by other sculptors. 100 years later, saw David, and then the greatest sculptors ever been in mankind is David, who conveys strength. I would call Sam Morse a modern day Michelangelo, but there's one big difference. Michelangelo did David and Sistine Chapel, and that was come and see, whereas what Sam Morse created, come and be a part of, come and live, more than just come and see.
For all its mystique, Cypress has always been about its people, members and staff woven together. The culture here is as much a treasure as the land.
Events started here, were you 12?
No, 15.
15.
Total of 54 going on 55 years. 1970 I started.
And you and I were together for
At least 25 years.
at least 25 years. You've caddied in how many Crosbys? And
42 Crosbys and made the cut 21 times.
Jim Langley has 2 course records here. He has 163 regular, and he has a course record for one arm.
One arm, 81.
He shot 81 with one arm.
From the white tees.
From the white tees, the other course records from the blues, and we were very worried the last couple of holes that he was going to hit it off or something.
Was your uncle, was he the second caddy master here maybe?
Yeah, actually Sam Solis was the first, and then they moved him up to manager, and then his brother Joe became the second.
At Cypress Point, history isn't just in the walls. It's in the caddies who started at the age of 15, the pro who found a home here, the laughter over a special drink called the Sam Special.
It's a kind of a rum daiquiri base. We're not supposed to give out the recipe. But if people say, I played Cypress Point, and you go, okay, what drink did you have after golf? And if they can't say they had a Sam Special, they're just talking about they haven't played Cypress Point with a member. That's my opinion. So my first loop was with a man by myself. I did one shadow loop. My first loop was with Roger Lapham, and his father was one of the founding fathers of Cypress Point. And Roger actually took me under his wing and said, "This is your first time out with a member?" And I go, "Yeah." I basically was the player and he was the caddy. Showed me everything about the golf course. He's just the nicest man in the world. And kind of gave me an overview. I thought I would died and gone to heaven, walking these grounds coming from Los Angeles and stuff. I was finishing a loop one day in '87, and I walked in the door to get paid, and Steve said, "Mark, this is Alan. They're going to need somebody in the clubhouse. You have restaurant experience." And Alan goes, "Come over and talk to me." So I got hired on the spot to work in the restaurant, which is inside the clubhouse. At that time, I think there was 4 full-time employees. It was just really, really cool. And my son was born 3 days later, my second child, so I ended up having insurance and all the benefits of being at the club. So I look at this club, how it kind of saved my life. I was in disarray, and getting this job inside the building was phenomenal, full-time.
As an employee of the club, how often do you get to play the course?
I can't tell you how many rounds I have. I don't want to make anybody mad. But I did get a few rounds in for over 45 years or whatever it is.
I think there's so much mystery behind the place, right? But how genuine and nice the membership is here, it's incredible. I remember a month into it, Casey was like, "Hey, what's different? What do you?" She's like, everyone is so nice and actually wants to get to know you, and it's like the culture is insane.
What explains that?
It just starts from the top. I mean, the members create that culture, I guess, and we follow suit. It's like, why wouldn't you? I mean, who's gonna whine when they're out here? It's like we're just spoiled.
All right, AJ, tell us about this match that featured 2 old-timers and 2 famous athletes.
Well, that was would have been the Hook and I last year, the member guests at Cypress practice round day, and usually Mr. Reeves and Mr. Herlihy, pretty much every year, they two have a match against someone famous playing in the tournament. So that year it was Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, and I think Reeves and Herlihy closed them out on 14 green.
That's amazing.
And I think Mr. Reeves shot 80, broke his age by 9. I think he was 89 at the time. Legit 80.
What's the experience been like here caddying for you?
Unbelievable. It's hard to, some people are maybe going to say that I can't do this my whole life, and maybe I won't, but it's hard to leave. I'll put it that way. It's just a magical place. I don't think I take it for granted any time I'm working here, which is, for anyone to say that about their job in life, I think is pretty cool.
What's it like when you arrive here at Cypress Point?
I always pinch myself every time I come into that gate, and there's that sign that says, Cypress Point members only. I keep checking the emblem on my shirt, make sure it hadn't fallen off, right? Because you just never want to take this one for granted. This is a special place, and we should never take special for granted.
If this land is sacred, this 16th hole is its altar. It's where Harris Barton, the Super Bowl champion, comes and actually catches his breath.
Oh, this is golf heaven. You stand out here on number 16 and you think of all the great people and all the great players that have played out here and all the people that want to see it, and it's just an amazing piece of property. It brings peace. It brings memories. It's such a big part of my life. It's just an amazing place. You got to come out and see it. I can't describe it. Everybody talks about the Sistine Chapel. This is it. This is the Dalai Lama. This is the Super Bowl. This is all the great things that have to do with sports and camaraderie. It all comes together right here. And when you get people to come out here, it's a bucket list for everybody that plays golf. Really, anybody that wants to see nature or wants to see, where the sea comes together with the land. All those, sayings. This is where it all comes together, and everybody needs to see this place.
Every visitor reaches for comparisons to football, to art, religion, because Cypress Point is impossible to describe.
On a subset, you're trying to think, what was MacKenzie thinking about when he gave him his 150 acres? He could have had almost any 150 acres, but he chose this. No really cameras that much with horseback. So why did he choose it? And then what was the focal point? When he designs a golf course, the three of us can design 15, 16, 17. That's a slam dunk. But how did he route it? How was the genesis? And what was the centerpiece? What was the focus of it all? And it's right there. 8 holes move to the dune, and then out from the dune. So if you understand that dune, you'll understand the architecture of Cypress Point.
Reeves returns again and again and again to the dune, to the cypress trees, to the care of the club and the course. Cypress Point is fragile and enduring.
I would hope that it endures, which I think Peter Ubroff and Dick are trying to foster. It's just the care of it, and just let it sort of be almost like Teddy Roosevelt established all these national parks. Now, we can't make this a national park, but we can certainly sort of keep it and maintaining the integrity of what we found.
Have you ever climbed to the top of that dune?
No, hopefully I hadn't hit one. I've hit a lot of them offline, but I've never hit one that far offline. But that's sort of embarrassing, and that's very rude for Michael to suggest that I would have to climb that dune. So that's the end of the interview right there. That's it. I'll take no more abuse.
Michelangelo nearly abandoned the Sistine Chapel, but he didn't. Reeves believes Cypress Point is that kind of art, born of vision, carried forward by care.
And it's interesting, he was not a painter. He was a sculptor. So after a year and a half, it took him 3 years. Laying on his back, he had suffered some diseases, paint's getting in his eyes, the lead, et cetera, et cetera. And after a year and a half, he walked down one day and said, "That's it. I'm not a painter." So he goes home. Next day, where is he? Got his brushes, climbs a ladder, back up painting. Kind of like a golfer. I'm gonna quit, and this is it. The next morning, goes and gets his club. I'm gonna try it one more time.
Sam Reeves calls it a blessing to live here. Harris Barton says he pinches himself every time he arrives at the club. Maybe that's Cypress Point's ultimate mystique. It was never built for tournament play, but it was built to endure.